Hey, Paul Reed fan here, and today I'm going to go over the Sixers offseason and grade each move on a scale of just like letter grading, like school. Usually it's going to be from C to A. Nothing too negative here. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to first go over into the players we lost, players we didn't bring back, and that's even if we lost some good players. It's going to be mostly a positive. We got Tobias Harris off of the Sixers roster. It's fantastic. Then I'm going to go into who we drafted. If you're following the Sixers, you probably are. You'll already know kind of the gist on those guys. Then I'm going to go from all the guards we re-signed or signed, the wings, and the center. Then I'm going to get my overall at the end. Now, I'm grading on a scale of kind of what they did last year, public perception of them, and my perception of them. Kind of just all culminated into a letter grade. I'm going to keep it mainly positive. But, yeah, here we go. Now, starting off, I'm going to go down the list of people we lost. Just kind of talk quickly on each one of them. Lost Mo Bamba. Not sad about that. That guy can't do anything because of his height. It's ridiculous. We lost Nico Batum. Now, Nico Batum will be remembered as a guy that was an amazing role player for the Sixers. Fourth quarter yelling, "Get the fuck Batum in." He was fantastic. The Miami Heat playing game, he just went nuclear. And I hope that he is happy because he's at the end of his career. Just played for France. Awesome role player. Sucks to lose him, but it's okay. We lost Rocco. Rocco just, in the little bit that he played for us last year, it looked okay, but his injuries, he's old, and he's a free agent right now. We'll see if anyone picks him up. Then, of course, the infamous Tobias Harris. Now, I want to start off with saying I like Tobias Harris as a person. I think out of basketball, I think he seems like a nice guy. I think that's the reason he was kept on so long, and which, of course, was a big mistake as he took up most of the roster with most of the salary, which then kind of clamped the roster down, and he was a negative. He didn't deserve that money. He's not close to an all-star. Nicholas Batum is better than him. Robert Covington is better than him. He is a negative. He plays like a Julius Randle that is so much worse. The only way he can get his offensive buckets is if he just ISOs and turnaround jumper, which isn't even like a good shot. It stops the offense. I know Joel stops the offense, but he's fucking Joel Embiid. He's not a good defender. He can't jump. He doesn't seem always locked in. I'm so happy that he's off my team. He's such a negative in the playoffs, and it's only up from here. A couple other guys, we lost Buddy Hield. I was super enthusiastic that was kind of our big trade piece last year, and he never really found his footing here. I thought he'd be great next to Joel. I remember different fans of who we used to be saying, You'll see. The numbers, he'll have some great shooting nights, but they level themselves out. And I think we saw that. He started off pretty good. He just couldn't find his footing. Hope he's good in the Warriors, I think is where he went. And speaking of the Warriors, DeAnthony Melton. Now, DeAnthony Melton has the problem of doing too much. When he's not doing too much, he's such a good role player. If he's hitting threes, he's playing really good defense. I like DeAnthony Melton. I think he's been hurt a lot. Again, and that's why I think it's the Grizzlies that traded him. He's a really good player, but he's always been hurt. So I wish him well as well. Campaign, that dude has some fire. I really want a Campaign back. The Knicks pick him up. He torched the Knicks for like a whole quarter, just firing up our team. He was fun to watch. I will be a lifelong fan of Campaign from here on out. I think it'll be fun with him over the Knicks. I try not to spread hate. I hate the Knicks fans, but their team is just fun. I really like a lot of the players there. So it'll be fun to watch what he does. Turquavion Smith we lost. 3-point shooter. mainly from playing the G League on a two-way. Not at loss there at all. He was cool. He was fun to watch sometimes when he was hitting those threes, but not a huge loss. Hope him well. And of course, b-ball basketball Paul Reed. I guess I'll go over quickly now. I love Paul Reed. Always have. I don't know if it was when he got on the court and everyone was believing in him and he would just try his hardest, but every time he went out there, I'm just rooting for him, but it seems like he doesn't have it all together, so he fouls too much. Sometimes he does a little too much. I think he needs to, it still feels like the basketball speed and basketball IQ is not caught up to the NBA level. I think he has the physical tools. I think he does these crazy layups that sometimes he makes. If he can just catch and shoot wide open shots, which he did a little bit last year, that'd be awesome. I think he could find a way to be a backup center in the league. But I will always love his drive that he brought and always trying, showing emotion on the court. And he's one hell of a guy, funny guy. But I have a signed Paul Reed jersey hanging in my room. It's kind of a meme, but of course my name, Paul Reed fan, number one Paul Reed fan, love him. But that's our biggest loss. No, I'm joking. But yeah, nothing too huge there. Nothing to really cry about. Some stuff I wish we could have brought Nico and maybe campaign back, but everyone else, it was time to change up the roster. Speaking of the roster, going into this offseason, we had three people on the roster. This was the first time Daryl Morey was able to really go into his bag and make a team that he felt was good. So yeah, started the season with only three players on the roster: Joel Embiid, Ricky Council, and B-Ball Paul. Ricky Council IV, 23 years old, 6'6", 208 pounds. A lot of potential. He goes out there, he plays good defense. He had one of the craziest dribble pass outs to Nico Batum in the regular season in the clutch. I think it was overtime or sending it to overtime against the Spurs. That's where Maxey was just killing everyone. It was with Joel back. I think it'll be fun to watch him. He can ham the ball down. He's going to be a high-level player. If the shot is falling, his defense intensity is there. Watch him in the Summer League. He'll be fun to watch. And then also Joel Embiid, of course. I mean, what else do I have to say about Joel Embiid? He's 30 years old. He's MVP caliber player. I think him healthy and playing his best basketball, he can be the best player on the planet. I think Jokic is the best player. I'm not going to act like he's not. I think his defensive, quote-unquote, negative is way out of proportion. I think he's still a good... Oh, not a good, but he's not a negative on the defensive end. And obviously, he can run the most efficient offense. He's an all-time great, Nikola Jokic. And of course, every time you bring up Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic, both names get brought up. Joel Embiid is a fantastic player. I think he's more fun to watch. I know people talk about foul grifting. I think it's just because he is not always in the best of shape and he's hurt, and he's smart, so he's going to get the easy ones. Sometimes he goes there too much. Sometimes he plays with too much emotion. But when that midi is falling and he's getting into his footwork under the rim, and he's also anchoring a defense, it is just fun to watch. And just praying for health this year. Again, that's what we do every year. Same with now, we got more problems with health. But I'm happy that we got those two guys coming in. Daryl Morey was able to cook this offseason. Obviously, the other guy on the roster, B-Ball Paul, was let go for more space to sign other players I'll get into later. And he was signed by the Pistons along with Tobias Harris, who got way too much money. Biggest fleece job in NBA history, the way this guy just gets contracts. Give his agent a Nobel Peace Prize. But, yeah. Now trying to get into the draft. We drafted two players. I'm going to start with the first round pick, Jared McCain. He's 6'3", 190 pounds, out of Duke, North Carolina. Picked him in the 16th pick in the draft. Now, when we picked him, I really wanted Dalton Knecht. I thought he fit Joel Embiid's timeline better. But Jared McCain, I think I don't know if he's gonna get actual playing time. He seems like a future player. He averaged 14.3 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And this is what's really nice. He shot 52, 41, and 88. That 41 from 3 should transfer right over. I saw a little bit of it in the Summer League. Other than that, I think, obviously, whenever you talk about Jared McCain, you bring up his TikTok followers and his nails. And I love it all. I love the attention. I think it's going to make it a fun season. Just like last year was a fun season when I almost crashed out. We lost Pat Bev and everyone because I was overreacting to everything. Pat Bev is not even in the league anymore. But it was fun to see him talk shit. One half year in Philadelphia. We always needed him over here. Anyway, for Jared McCain, I think people see him as maybe a little girly. So I think that'll go into the court. He is diving at balls. He is trying to do his best to rebound every ball. He is going to, once he figures it out, I think he could be a very solid player in the NBA. Now, I'm giving that grade a B. It's not going to be higher because I really don't think he's going to fit Joel Embiid's timeline unless he really figures it out, which would shock me. But, yeah, Jared McCain gets a B. Now going on to our second-round pick, Adem Bona from UCLA. We picked him pick 11. He's 6'10", 235 pounds. He plays center forward. Now, he is a 2-time Pac-12 All-Defensive Player and a 2023-2024 Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. He had 10 points, 5.6 rebounds, 1 assist, around a steal, and then 2 blocks a game, basically. I think this guy could really find a way into the backup minutes and even maybe play with the starter sometimes. He can be that engine. I watched him in the Summer League. The free throw shot looks really good. Nothing else looks good. Nothing else really on the offensive side other than catching lobs. But he's going to go up to try to block every single shot. And if he can hone himself, I kind of think of Paul Reed there. He was fouling way too much. But I think he has more vertical than Paul Reed. I think he's better at the defensive end, definitely. And he may actually be able to get some minutes in if he's really out of his mind rebounding and we need to get a little stop at the end of the game. We'll see. I like our draft. Both players I give a B. Adem Bona is a cool guy out of the second round. And Jared McCain, I like him. I wouldn't say he fit our timeline. Give him a B, though. I think I like him at a Duke. Now, I'm going to start with the guards. Starting with Eric Gordon, we signed him. He is 35 years old, 6'3", 215 pounds. He was on the Suns last year as a rotational piece. He averaged 11 points, which is, that's kind of, points don't really, when you're a role player, it's tough to gauge, especially from a Suns team that was so deprived of them. What I do like is that he shot 6 3-pointers a game on 37% shooting from the 3, which I enjoyed, and around 28 minutes a game. So he definitely is not going to play that much here, but if he can keep his 3-point shot up, maybe he can get a little rotational minutes in. I don't know how I feel about him. He looks annoying. He looks fat. But I was looking at different Suns forums, and they were happy about his departure. He complained about playing time. He probably thinks he's better than he is. Again, it's Daryl Morey getting an old Rocket, which is hilarious. But I like him as a deep roster spot. Not the worst, not the best. I could just give Eric Gordon a C. Now going on, the next one we got Reggie Jackson. Picked him up, I think, from the Hornets, or he was just dropped or something. But the Nuggets, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get it. He was on Nuggets last year. He's 34 years old. He's 6'2", 208 pounds. And he had 10 points on 36% from 3. And he had 4 assists per game on 22 minutes. Now, a lot of the Nuggets subreddit weren't super, upset about him leaving. They said that he definitely doesn't have that, quote-unquote, killer mentality or need to win. I don't really know what that means, but I hear the same thing about a lot of other guys like Paul George. I hear that. If they go out and produce numbers, I'm fine. But other than that, we signed him. Another guard just to fill out the roster. That if he keeps his 3-point shooting up and just keeps on dribbling, passing, Reggie Jackson has some sick dribble moves. Will be fun to see, and I like him a little more. Eric Gordon, I think he can definitely run an offense a little more. Eric Gordon, I don't love Eric Gordon, but he's okay. I'm giving Reggie Jackson a C+. Now, next we re-signed Kyle Lowry. Now, I think this could be good. The way he was playing last year in the playoffs, the type of fire he had, even at 38 years old, what else can I say? If he can keep up the 3-point shooting, again, last year he shot around 6 3-pointers a game on 44% from 3. At 38 years old, if he can keep the defensive intensity up, which he showed, and just kind of keep hitting those threes, passing the ball. We don't need him to score, but it's always good to have these guys like Eric Gordon, like Reggie Jackson, like Kyle Lowry, to just hit their threes and play okay minutes. I give him a B-. I really like him, a Philly guy. And yeah, I give Kyle Lowry a B-. Next, we have we re-signed Jeff Doughton Jr., NASCAR. Now he came up from the G League last year. He played a little while with us. He's 27 years old, 6'3", 177. And again, he's going to be one of those deep rotational pieces, probably deeper than the other guys I've mentioned so far. If his shot is falling, he could be okay. I watched him Summer League. Sometimes he would take over games, and he would just keep hitting shots, just making these tough middies, these threes. And he looked like an NBA player out there. He looked like he was better than a lot of these Summer League guys. Sometimes a lot of people were complaining that he was taking too much away from other guys. Like, could we please watch Jared McCain? But I think it'll be okay. I don't hate the signing. I give it a B-. I think he's a really solid player that we maybe have gotten a little steal on. I like Jeff Doughton Jr. I think he could be another. We have a lot of guards to choose from when it comes down to it. And speaking of guards, our main guy, Tyrese Maxey, we re-signed him. He's 23 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds. And what else can I say about Maxey? He comes in to the worst situation, falls in the draft, and he gets thrown into a role just playing for Ben Simmons, the bum Ben Simmons himself. What has he not done to prove that we should give him the money? And by the way, I like the contract too. It doesn't even seem like that crazy of money. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's great in movement. He's got some mid-range game. He's all the heart is out there. He's fast. He's electric, and he's getting better and better every year. This year, rose to All-Star and Most Improved Player. I don't see him stopping. I think he's going to be even better than last year. I actually have him as dark horse candidate to lead the team in scoring because I would like Joel to take a step back. Maybe, and step back for Joel is like 27, 28 points a game. I'm not saying anything crazy, but let the other two guys, let the other two big dogs in this offense, they can eat for him. He doesn't need to be, I'm going to score 35 a night, which he can do. He can do absolutely. But Maxey is fantastic. He's young. He's swole now, swole Maxey. We'll see if that is anything in the actual start of the league. But Maxey is really, I love Maxey. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's perfect right next to Joel. And I think we have a 3-headed dragon going into next year. Okay? Oh, yeah, I gave him an A+, of course. Maxey, A+. After Joel leaves, he's going to be why I watch this team, which I give Joel around 2 or 3 more years, hopefully, of this level of play. And that is all the guards, and I'm going to take a quick break and get over to the wings. Now for the wings, I'm going to start with a very famous name, Justin Edwards. I'm kidding. He was undrafted last year. And we picked him up in the Summer League, and he only played a couple games. We signed him. He's 20 years old. He's 6'8", 203, like the sides there. And he wasn't even that crazy in the summer league. 6 points a game on 39, 43 shooting. He only shot one free throw, and he made it, so I guess 100% from the free throw. So around 40, 43, 100. Not the worst. The three-point looked okay in some games. He had 3 rebounds a game, a steal, an assist. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's going to actually get any playing time this year. He has a good size, but I think it's one of those young prospects. I think it's interesting that we're bringing in some young guys. Like, we're kind of setting up for the future. We're not just completely shitting out our potential on this, which I kind of like because I don't feel like we're actually using assets on it. So I give him a C- just for this year. I think he could be something better in the future. Now, next for the wings, we signed Caleb Martin. Now, I think this is where we got rid of B-Ball Paul, but I think it was worth it. Caleb Martin, 28 years old, 6'5", 205 pounds. Now, obviously, if you remember, he went nuclear on the Celtics 2 years ago in the Miami Heat run where they lost to the Nuggets. He had 3 Eastern Conference MVP votes, Eastern Conference Finals MVP votes, right behind Jimmy Butler's 4. Not that he's ever going to play at that level again, but he can be a very, very high-level role player. He played 64 games last year, 10 points a game, on 43, 35, 78 shooting, on around 3.5 threes per game. He had 4 rebounds a game and 2 assists. Just kind of solid role player stuff. Now, looking in Heat forums and what people thought about him when they lost him, a lot of people hate his agent, and they were just pissed at him that they were not able to re-sign him he gave up a bag to come to Philly, basically, and they're pissed. I saw a lot of nicknames for him. Killer Cam. They said they're going to miss Killer Cam. That was a high post. And that's Killer Caleb, I'm sorry. Killer Caleb Martin. And I think it'll be fun to see him as a really solid role player. 20 years old. I'm going to give it a B+. I think it's a really, really good pickup. I didn't see it coming. I didn't have him on our board to pick him up. But that's a cool pickup. Next, we re-signed KJ Martin. Now, KJ didn't play a lot last year. Really didn't like him in the beginning, but he started to find his role of a defensive guy who could crash the boards and slam home a slam dunk every once in a while. Good hands. He's 6'6", 215. He's only 23 years old. We signed him as an overpay to maybe package him later in a trade to match salaries. But I see him maybe actually carving out a role. There was even a part, I think it was in that Heat playing game, or it was a Heat regular season game, where we couldn't break the zone, obviously, like we never do against the Heat. And he was standing at the free throw line with the ball and making okay reads. I think he's only 20. He's super young, so hasn't got a lot of playing time, and his defense speaks for itself. I think he could be. He could maybe. I mean, by the way, if his shot is falling, then we gotta keep him. I mean, that would make him a perfect 3-and-D player, but I don't see that happening. Or he could be a good trade piece. I like KJ Martin. I like the signing a lot. I give it a B-. I'm high on him. I don't think he's gonna play a lot. But I really like KJ Martin. He definitely has his downside, so I got a B+. He really is limited on the offensive side, but I think it's a good signing. Next, we re-signed Kelly Oubre Jr. Kelly Oubre Jr. Tsunami Poppy, hottest guy in the league. No diddy. 28 years old, 6'7", 203. Now, I'm going to give you the stats of last year, but let me tell you, I don't give a fuck. I love Kelly Oubre. I have fun watching Sixers game when Kelly Oubre is in. He's going to hound you on defense as much as he can. He's going to pull up on a fast break 3 like an idiot, and he'll hit it. He's gonna kiss. He's gonna blow a kiss to the opponent's bench, and he's gonna yam on your favorite player. Not really, but I do remember one of my favorite parts of that Knicks series was him yamming on Hardenstein. That was insane. Now, actually, his actual stats, he had 15 points a game on 44, 31, 75. Again, the shot comes and goes. When he was next to Joel, it was a lot better. But maybe he can get those numbers, the 3-point number, up a little bit. He also had 5 rebounds a game, 1.5 assists, and 1 steal. Again, I don't even care if the shooting numbers suck. I think he is electric. I think he's fun to watch, and I think he should just start. I don't think we need to have a 2-guard lineup. I think we should put our best guys out there. And Maxey and Oubre at the 1 and 2, I think, is probably what we'll do in the start. Maybe we'll change to Kyle Lowry, then Maxey, and then we'll see what happens after that. But I like KO a lot. I give that an A-. Absolutely love that one. And now time to get on the big guy. The big signing of the Sixers offseason, Paul George, PG-13. Where do I start? He's 34 years old. He's 6'8", and he's 220 pounds. To start off everything, he's better than Tobias Harris. If we go into the next series again, we win with Paul George. The level that Maxey and Embiid were playing, even in hobbled Embiid, we win that series. Tobias Harris is such a negative on both ends that I said we could have replaced him with anything. Anything, and it would have been great. But we replaced him with Paul George, who's 34 years old. He's old. But all I'm looking for is him to be better than Tobias Harris. Is it an overpay? Yes. But that's the timeline. We're trying to the years of Paul George are gonna line up with the rest of Joel Embiid. That's the dream. So last year, I'll give you stats from the Clippers. 22 points a game, 47, 41, 90. Love those. Love those stats right there. 5 rebounds a game, 3.5 assists, and 1.5 steal. What my favorite thing, I think it's the catch and shoot is high 40s. And that is going to be his bread and butter here. And even regular shooting from threes, 41%. I mean, I think, again, I just can't think of how importing him is going to be a negative compared to Tobias Harris, who we had to trot out there, and him to just do nothing on both ends. Speaking of what more public perception of him, I'm super happy that he's here. I think a lot of basketball analysts say that he's going to be a perfect fit. He's one of the most importable players. And as for Clippers fans, they are not happy. They're giving him so much shit. Because he immediately, of course, is pandering on his Podcast P. But and they're saying he wasn't as good. Just wait, Sixers fans, till you see the holes in his game. His dribble isn't as tight as people think. He doesn't have that killer instinct. He's not a winning player. And I go, wait a second. What was his role last year? His role was to be the number 1 or the number 2 player. Number 1 is he's not there in his career as a number 1 anymore. He hasn't been there since OKC. It's been a while since he's been the number 1. He's going from the number 1, the number 2 option, to the third option, the cemented third option, behind Joel and Maxey. And I think it's going to help him a lot. I think he'll play very solid, and I think he's going to find his own. I mean, when we're just culminating all these great players, Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, Paul George, Maxey, even like people like Lowry, Reggie, maybe even Eric Gordon. I mean, I really see this team being very, very, very good. So it's my favorite roster around Joel at this point. Other than that, little stuff to worry about Paul George is his health. His health is scary. It's gotta pray he's healthy. And again, it's just another healthy player to worry about. But we gotta hope that they're healthy. And if Joel and him are healthy, I think the sky's the limit. I give that offseason pickup an A. It's not an A+, because I really, really, really thought going into this offseason that we should have built around role players. Get KCP, get OG Anunoby, maybe go get Laurie. I don't think they're going to trade Laurie unless we gave up everything and probably some young players. But I wanted to build around, get Drummond too, but I wanted to get a bunch of role players around these guys, and I think Morey did a good job. I think Paul George is going to play a better role. Another actual real third option finally. It's going to take a little weight off of Joel's shoulders, just like Maxey is. So I see maybe Joel dropping a little bit of points, and Maxey leading the team with around 29-30. Probably won't happen. Thinking of the way Joel takes regular season seriously in the numbers, but maybe not this year. He's got his MVP. He just won the gold, the Olympics. So we'll see. It's gonna be fun to see how they separate their load management. They're gonna take turns playing Joel and Paul George, but that'll be just more fun stuff we can talk about later. Finally, we signed one center, Andre Drummond. And, I can't imagine a better backup big. We have been begging and begging and begging for years. Get another real backup for Joel. The on and off numbers are ridiculous. Joel will go on with a 10-point lead, and statistically it'll be gone. It doesn't matter. Signed Andre Drummond, only 31 years old, 6'11", 280, looks 7 feet out there. And what I love last year, he played 79 games with 9 rebounds. That's what he's going to go out there and do. He's going to play okay defense, and he's going to rebound the ball. I'm a little lower on him than other people. I don't think he's that good. He's playing for the Chicago Bulls. Didn't even care to write down his assists or anything else, points. But I think he's a great fit. NBA forums, all loved the move. Looked through a bunch of stuff. He's like a perfect backup. And Chicago is an idiot for letting him go for free. And Chicago is one of the worst run teams ever. I would hate to be a Chicago fan. That is a tangent that I probably shouldn't go on. But they got Josh Giddey for God. He just let Alex Caruso go for nothing. They didn't get a. I don't need to go into Chicago. But Andre Drummond, I give it an A. Great pickup. Great pickup to be a backup for Joel. That's oh my gosh. I forgot about Gershon Yabusele. I cannot believe I forgot about Gershon Yabusele, the Frenchman. Now, I'll be completely honest, I was kind of low on him. I was like, who's gonna sign this guy? He had one good little run with the French Olympic team, and that's it. Then, of course, we signed him, and I paid a little more attention. He's 28 years old, 6'8", 271 pounds. He shoots 40% in the Real Madrid lead from 3, which is huge. And I think he's a dog. I think I've seen him fight people in Real Madrid. I've seen people call him a dirty player or just a hothead, and I think it's going to be awesome to see him here. He picked up, I think it was Dante Exum, and suplex the guy. People are going to love him in Philly. I think it'll be funny to see French fans have to go from booing on Joel Embiid like idiots to now having to root for the team he plays for Gershon, who's getting MVP chance. I think this was our last piece. Everyone was like, we don't have a real power forward. I was like, that's not the type of teams that Daryl Morey has made historically. It's been small ball, but this time we have Joel and Drummond. So he was like, I already got my tall guys, but he decided to go out and get Gershon, who I wouldn't say is like an outstanding defender, but he can handle his weight there, and he can maybe be a good rebounder and shoot the ball, and who knows, maybe he'll dunk on LeBron again. I think it's a good. I like it. I don't hate it. I kind of see him similar to KJ Martin, to where he's kind of a interesting player, more prospect. We might have gotten a steal for $2 million, and he's betting on himself too. He actually had more money set up for Real Madrid but he's betting on himself. He's paying out the rest of his contract by hand, so he's only making, I think it's like $200,000 this year, which is ridiculous money, but he could be making a lot more. So he's betting on himself. He's betting on Philadelphia. The reason he chose Philadelphia over, I think it was the Cavs and Lakers, was because of a call with Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse, fantastic coach. So happy he's going to get a second year with Joel Maxey and everyone else. So yeah, I give him a B minus. Oh, one more thing, obviously Gershon actually threw a little shade on the Celtics, saying he's got something to prove with them, and I think that's always awesome when you got players talking like that. That's everyone. Gershon, of course, is a wing. Obviously, now the whole entire scheme is fucked up, but I'm sure you guys will be able to follow. Now, going into what I think overall, what do I give this offseason? Now, this is probably not going to line up if you culminate all the letters together as an actual grade, but I give us an A minus. I think it was a very good offseason for Daryl Morey. I think he did a very, very good job filling out the roster with real NBA players, also trying to find diamonds in the rough like Gershon, maybe Jeff Doughton, getting a Dembone in the second round. Get a lot of guard play, so maybe one of them will do good to back us up. They can't all be bad at the same time, right? No, I'm joking. Knowing Sixers luck, there is a chance that all of our guards suck at the same time. You never know. But also good wings. Love the Kelly Oubre re-signing. Caleb Martin, KJ even. Justin Edwards maybe. Probably not. Gershon, we went over it. Give it an A minus. Happy to see Paul George in this game. See the lineup choices. Finally watched Sixers basketball again. And our openers against the Bucks, who have Doc Rivers as their head coach, so their championship dreams are already squandered. But yeah, that's about it. Have a good rest of your day, or whatever, as Paul Reed fan.